Sure you feel the pull.
Hi guys, what's happening? Gabriel18 here, and today we are reviewing the Modern Warfare beta. Now, I know this beta came out over a week ago, and people within the last week have already published their reviews and their final thoughts on it, and I'm very late to it, but obviously I've been busy. And this is pretty much my first time actually doing a review, so you're really going to have to bear with me here because I want to make sure I kind of get thoughts and opinions across without sounding kind of stupid or dumb or like some Call of Duty fanboy. Even though I do like playing Call of Duty, I'm not a complete fanboy because obviously my opinions about a certain game called Black Ops 4 recently, so you know what I mean there. But anyways, without out of the way guys, let's just get straight into the video and start my review of Modern Warfare. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to talk about in my review of the beta is the overall presentation of the game. And I have been absolutely amazed by the presentation of this game. When I first loaded it up and went straight into Hackney Yard, no doubt, the engine looked absolutely beautiful. Even after seeing all the gameplay footage on the internet, as well as footage from the 2v2 gunfight and the reveal trailer for the campaign, the engine looks absolutely beautiful. Now I know from rumours that Infinity Ward have been working on the engine for about 5 years after Ghost came out, and they had even mixed in some of their new engine with the IW engine for Infinite Warfare apparently, but I never played it so I'll never know. But back to the beta, it looks absolutely gorgeous and runs absolutely smoothly. I hardly came across any drops in the frame rate. There was definitely a solid 60 frames per second and there was no real dips in it, so full credit to Infinity Ward for giving us a solid frame rate. Now do note that I am playing on the Xbox One and on an Xbox One S, so obviously any of you PlayStation fanboys out there will probably call me an Xbox scrub, and you know what, I don't even care. Because even at 1080p 60 FPS, the game still runs smooth. I'd recommend it. And also, another side note, all the guns in the game look absolutely gorgeous, whether it's the AK-47, the Desert Eagle, the M4, the FAMAS, the 1911, all the guns in the game look absolutely beautiful, and they also feel very good as well. Feel good to shoot and feel good to handle, which I will cover later on in more of the gameplay aspects of the video. But overall, if I was to rate the graphics for Modern Warfare, I would give it a solid 10 out of 10. A complete upgrade from the likes of Black Ops 4, which in itself does look good, but very outdated, and is even better looking than Call of Duty World War II and Modern Warfare Remastered as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is the gameplay and how all the weapons feel in the game. Now obviously visually the game does run smoothly and you can see some very smooth gameplay, but when you actually play it yourself, does it feel good to run? Does it feel smooth in itself? Do the weapons feel good to handle? All these questions are going to be answered. So, number one, the overall feel of the game. Does it feel good to run? Does it run smoothly? Yes, it does. As I mentioned previously about the graphics, 60 frames per second, the game runs smoothly, and it certainly feels good to run as well. You can run around the map without any kind of lag or glitches, and I never came across any glitches, but if anyone else did, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below, even though I probably won't really care that much. But with that said, I want to kind of carry on with what I was talking about. So when we look at all the gameplay, it does feel really good to play. I can just run around the map and feel like it was really realistic. Now the guns, they feel absolutely incredible. The gun that I used most in the beta was definitely the M4A1, which appeared in every single Call of Duty game. Well, Modern Warfare games anyway, because it was in Modern Warfare 4, the M4 Carbine, and then it was the M4A1 in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, and if I'm right, it was also in Black Ops as the Commando, but obviously we're not really fussed about that gun, but in the other Call of Duty games. But anyways, it felt really good to use in the beta. And if of all the guns I actually did use in the beta, I actually used the M4A1 the most in the game, and it felt absolutely incredible to use. When you add the attachments of reflex sight and armor piercing rounds, which I don't think I actually put in, but I think there's that option there. But when you put attachments on it to make it an even deadlier gun, it is the definition of deadly, because I can remember just going around and just mowing down everyone. Although most of the gameplay that is in my video probably is trash, so you can call me a noob all you like, but the M4 definitely felt really good to handle. Now the other gun that I did use was the FAMAS, and I'm obviously not really used to playing with 3-round burst assault rifles as such, because I tend to use automatic rifles and SMGs, but the FAMAS in itself certainly felt good to handle, and despite the limited use that I did have shooting it when I first started playing the beta, it certainly did feel good to handle. Like, you could definitely shoot someone and definitely get a kill within sort of like that first kind of 3-round burst. And
Gunfight.
that's all I can really think of when it comes to the FAMAS. Now, the other guns I used were one of the pistols, which I can't remember the name of. I think it was just the M9 or something. It wasn't really that memorable. It's just a standard pistol. There was a good time to kill on it, but I didn't really use it that much. The pistol I did use the most was definitely the Desert Eagle, and that thing is just as deadly as its Modern Warfare counterpart. So whether it's playing the original Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 or even Modern Warfare 3, that gun looks and feels great to play. Now, it is unfortunate we didn't use the iconic sound that the Desert Eagle became famous for, so but that doesn't really bother me as such. But it did in Modern Warfare 3 for some reason. But in Modern Warfare, the Infinity War were definitely going for a more realistic approach, so it did make sense that the Desert Eagle certainly had a different kind of sound effect compared to how it did in the previous Modern Warfare games, and it also feels great to fire, despite it being a heavy pistol and sort of like a slower fire rate than in Modern Warfare. It was still a good gun to use. I certainly got a good few hits with that gun and a few kills, so it certainly felt good to use. Now, the final gun that I ended up using in the beta was the AK-47. And I've heard a lot of people saying that the AK-47 in Modern Warfare certainly feels rather weak. I would agree to an extent, because the kills I did get with the AK-47 did feel good, but when I had it in a custom class without any real attachments, it certainly felt very weak when you compare it to other base AK-47 guns, which felt a lot better to use, and so it certainly felt like a bit of a downgrade to use the AK-47 without any attachments in Modern Warfare. But if you're like me and like using the AK-47, then definitely try to grind it to really get some of the attachments so that it can feel like a better gun. You can feel like you have a better time to kill, in a sense, with the newer attachments that you can add to the gun. So that's just my advice if you want to use the AK-47. But if you want to use a gun that is deadly and efficient, out of all the guns that were available in the beta, then the M4 is definitely the gun to go to. However, I get the feeling that we might get some other guns that are just that little bit deadlier, like the AK-47, if they were to buff it a bit, as well as maybe the return of the ACR or whatever other guns they might decide to add, like the Scar maybe. So that's just something to look out for. Now on to the next part of my review. The overall feel of the guns feels really good. The Infinity Ward were definitely going for a more realistic approach to the game, and they've definitely done that, especially with their ground war mode. It certainly almost feels like Conquest from the Battlefield series, so EA and DICE, you better watch out, you've got a bit of a contender going on here. with that said, there's not really much more I can say on how the gameplay feels because it is absolutely great. The overall game modes that I did play, the team deathmatch was pretty standard, nothing really new there. The kill streaks were pretty fun to use. The UAV, the cruise missile was good at times when you weren't crushing into fucking roofs, which happened to me a lot, which is just my bad luck. And a lot of people said that the chopper gunner was really good. I never got the chopper gunner, unfortunately, because I'm a bit of a noob on COD. Well, a bit of a noob, I just have bad luck, really, depending on how you look at it. So, that's all pretty much it with the kill streaks. The map design certainly seems to be a big improvement over the previous map designs that we've had. When you look at Black Ops 4, even in World War II, back in by Sledgehammer in 2017, which felt very restricted. The maps by Infinity Warfare and Modern Warfare do feel very good to play. Like, there's definitely levels of elevation and stuff that you'd expect in the classic maps like Afghan or Terminal. So credit to Infinity Warfare, they're pretty amazing map design there. So because Hackney Yards, Gun Run, Zir Cave, the big 32v32 ground war map it was really good, even though I don't really play much of ground war. And that map that was used in the 20v20 headquarters was also pretty good. And if someone for the life of me can tell me what that map was, then that would be greatly appreciated as well, guys. So overall, the game's design was absolutely amazing. I'd definitely give that a 10 out of 10. And the sound design was also really good as well. That was a solid 10 out of 10. The guns sounded really realistic. AK-47, M4, FAMAS, the AUG, all of them sounded really good. And the overall sound design in all the maps that I played were really good as well. So that was also a solid 10 out of 10. Now, moving on to the main thing I wanted to talk about was the new TV2 gunfight mode. And now, for those of you who will know, I did publish the TV2 gunfight mode in a previous video a couple days ago, so you have seen that gameplay. But I'm just going to establish my thoughts on the mode by Infinity Ward, and I like it. It's a really good classic mode. We have had a similar mode before with sort of like the cage match, which was a 1v1, but now they've kind of added the 2v2, which is a really good mode, and it plays very well because obviously you have the general idea where you have to kill everyone on the other team before they kill you, and if the time runs out, you win based on your health, or you have to capture the flag in overtime, which is a pretty cool thing. Obviously, the gunfight was kind of trash, so just forgive me there. And the mode just felt really good to play in general. And I was really pleased with how the map design felt. It felt unique but classic, and the weapons that I used there, like the MP7, the M14, and all that, felt really good to use. So it's a really good mode, and I will be definitely playing a lot more of it when Modern Warfare comes out. And I do hope that Infinity Ward does bring back the cage fight mode from Modern Warfare 1, which was an astounding mode, and it's a real classic 1v1. Although when people do 1v1, you do tend to do it in private match anyway, so I doubt Infinity Ward would ever bring it back. But it would certainly be cool to bring back the cage fight mode, because I do have memories actually playing the cage fight mode back in Modern Warfare. So the final thing I want to touch on, guys, is the camping that was present in the game. It was my only real negative about the game, and I hope it doesn't become a huge problem in the future, because it would really ruin the experience for people as a whole. And I know a lot of people were complaining about the campers in the game, but I don't think it'll become too much of a problem, as I didn't really come across that many campers. But yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed playing the beta as a whole, and look forward to when it comes out in October. And as always guys, don't forget to like this video, be subscribed to the channel, and click that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Do you feel the